Today we shall discuss on right to equality. As you all know that right to equality is a fundamental right included in the Constitution of India, Part 3, from Article 14 to Article 18. Okay, let's have a look that Article 14 defines the state shall not deny to any person equality before the law or the equal protection of the laws within the territory of India. What actually it means? Article 14 tries to achieve equality of status for all people. It aims at establishing the rule of law in India. This guarantee available to both citizens and non-citizens. It applies to all persons, natural as well as juristic. Now, Article 15. Article 15.1, it elaborates that the state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them. Just concentrate on Article 15.1. What it says? I repeatedly says it. The state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them. 15.2. Here, what is declared? That no citizen shall, on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them, be subject to any disability, liability, restriction, or condition with regard to access to shops, public restaurants, hotels, and palaces of public entertainment, or the use of wells, tanks, bathing ghats, roads, and places of public resort maintained wholly or partly out of state funds or dedicated to the use of the general public. Just ponder over these two articles. Why I am saying this? Because just after, immediate after 15.2, Article 15.3, we have to discuss on it, and you will find that there is a discrimination between these two apparently. Of course, apparently. What Article 15.3 says? Nothing in this article shall prevent the state from making any special provision for women and children. Just look at this special provision. And what we have said earlier in 15.1, just ponder over this word sex. The state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them. Sex is here. That means 15.1 says that the state cannot discriminate any person in terms of sex. But what 15.3, Article 15.3 says, nothing in these articles shall prevent the state from making any special provision for women and children. That means women and children will be preferred by the government in terms of their development, in terms of their betterment, and the government could make laws and bylaws and rules in favor of women and children. That has been approved by the Constitution. So here is the difference you have seen between these two articles. But all these, so what should I say? Is this wrong? No. This is the exception of Article 15. That means, yes, there will be no discrimination in terms of sex, in terms of place of birth, etc. But in India, women and children are from the beginning suffered and tortured, and they are backward. That's why to make them just do something good to the women and children and to take them in the forefront of the society, the government has to do something. That's why such provision has been included in the Constitution as fundamental right. Okay. So 15.4, what is here? Here the same thing, that is the exception of Article 15. Here, nothing in this article or in clause 2 of Article 29 shall prevent the state from making any special provision. Look at the words, special provision for whom? For the advancement of any socially and educationally backward classes of citizens, or for the scheduled castes and the scheduled tribes. That means Article 15 says that there will be no discrimination among the citizens of India. But here the government has the right to make provisions, special provisions for backward class people or for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Why? Because they are backward. They are from the time immemorial they were suffering very much. That's why to come all of them, that means the scheduled caste and tribes and those who are backward, to take them in the forefront of the society and to do something good for them, the government has the right to do something specially. That's why such special provision has been mentioned in the Article 15.4. This is also the exception of Article 15. Now we'll go another provision. That means such provision has been included in the Constitutional Amendment Act 93rd Amendment Act 2006. What is here? Here it is clearly said that nothing in this article or in subclause of G of clause 1 of Article 19 shall prevent the state from making any special provision by law for the advancement of any socially and educationally backward classes of citizens and scheduled castes or scheduled tribes, insofar as such special provisions relate to their admission to educational institutions, including private educational institutions, whether aided or unaided by the state, other than the minority educational institutions referred to in clause 1 of Article 30. That means here another exception has been created. Now, Article 16. What is here? Article 16A. There shall be equality of opportunity for all citizens in matters relating to employment or appointment to any office under the state. Here it is clearly said that in terms of employment or appointment, there will be no discrimination among the citizens. But there are so many exceptions here. What are the exceptions of Article 16? You may see that for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, backward caste, that means other backward castes, OBC, for all of them, government has the right to make special provisions. It is also included in Article 16. So, on the one hand, Article 16 of the Constitution of India recognizes that there will be no discrimination among the citizens in matters of relating to employment or appointment, but at the same time in Article 16, 3, 4, 4a, there are so many exceptions where government has the right to make special provisions for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and there are so many and so on. So, Article 16 has exceptions also. Now, we shall discuss on Article 17, that is Abolition of Untouchability. You all know that India is a kind of country where from the beginning means from the inception of the state, free state, that means India got freedom from the British in 1947. From the beginning of that time, there are so many superstitions and bad habits among the people of India, and untouchability is one of them. So, untouchability should be and must be removed from the society, and that's why abolition of untouchability has been included as fundamental right of the citizen of India. What actually the Constitution says? Untouchability is abolished and its practice in any form is forbidden. The enforcement of any disability arising out of untouchability shall be an offence punishable in accordance with the law. The word untouchability in this clause has been used in inverted commas, which indicates that word should not be construed in a literal or grammatical sense, but with reference to its historical background in the country. So, it's as clear as water that untouchability must be prohibited, should be prohibited, and untouchability is 100% forbidden in any form. So, but here one thing has to be added here, that is untouchability, abolition of untouchability. This is our fundamental right, but one regulation, or you may say one thing has been, the Parliament of India in 1955, an act has been taken by the Parliament in terms of abolition of untouchability. Why? Because this clause has not been actually self executed. It has to be executed by any act which has been taken by the Parliament of India. That's why in 1955 an act has been taken, an act has been approved by the Parliament of India, that is called Untouchability Prohibition Act 1955, and with the help of such act, such practices, that means practice of untouchability has been uh, legally prohibited, and with the help of this act, administration has the right to prohibit it. Okay, now at the end we are uh, we will discuss on article 18, that is abolition of titles. It's another important issue which should be discussed very seriously. What is in article 18? 18a says that no title not being a military or academic distinction shall be conferred by the state. No citizen of India shall accept any title from any foreign state. No person who is not a citizen of India shall, while he holds any office of profit or trust under the state, accept without the consent of the President any title from any foreign state. No person holding any office of profit or trust under the state shall, without the consent of the President, accept any present, emolument, or office of any kind from or under any foreign state. Why it is said? It is said that because the government of India, after independence, wanted to prove that Raja or Talukdar or so many other things, other titles had been available in in medieval India, and in such a system, the leader of the villages, leader of any taluks, they were just getting different types of titles, and they are actually felt proud of such titles. So titles should be abolished because a title may create differences between citizens, and such differences is very harmful for the healthy relationship of the countrymen or the citizens of India. That's why titles should be abolished, and that is why the government of India has decided that Article 18 should be included in the government in the Constitution of India. So ultimately it is happened, and now after independence for few years such provision have been abolished. That means titles, the abolition of titles have been abolished, but after that, after a few years, it has actually once again actually replaced by another government. That means for 2 or 3 years it has been actually abolished. The abolition of titles, the provision have been stopped for few years for political reason or for any reason. This is not actually our topic of discussion, but we are just for information, we could just know it. But according to Article 18, what is actually Article 18 says, we have already discussed about, and we should know very well that now it is in our constitution, so we have to admire all this. So the right to equality is all which actually I have already discussed with all of you. So that's all for the day. Another right, particularly fundamental rights, will be discussed in the next classes. So that's all for the day.